Welcome to the WWIA podcast. Whether this is your first time hearing us or if you're a returning listener, we truly appreciate you taking time out to join us as we share our mission to bring honor, connection, and healing to our combat-wounded Purple Heart heroes. If you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to our podcast to get all our latest episodes, and if you're enjoying what you hear, please leave us a review on your preferred podcast service. On today's episode, we're proud to introduce you to one of our tremendous friends and supporters of the Foundation, Mr. Danny Bourassa. Danny is an Army veteran who, along with his wife Nancy, as well as their children, have been proudly supporting WWIA and serving our heroes for over a decade. They currently host the annual Wisconsin Heroes Northland Experience Black Bear Hunt, which will celebrate its 4th iteration this coming fall. We hope you enjoy getting to know Danny as he shares some of his thoughts and experiences with us.
Hi, my name's John McDaniel. I'm the founder and CEO of the Wounded Warriors in Action Foundation, and this is our podcast, Honor, Connect, and Heal. And I have with me today in the Airstream studio in the Northwoods of Wisconsin, Danny Bourassa. Welcome to the program, Danny.
Thank you, John.
Danny lives up here with his bride, Nancy, not far from here. How far you reckon you are from here?
A little over 2 hours north.
Okay, north. All right. And so what is the city you guys are actually in?
Iron River.
Iron River. So you are Iron River, Wisconsin. There's an Iron River, Michigan, too, isn't there?
There sure is.
I've heard that.
That does get confusing.
It does, yeah. I drove up there for the first time, and I got a chance to meet you. Well, Danny and Nancy have been big supporters for the Foundation for many, many years. Silent supporters for the first several years, and then a few years ago, Danny reached out to me and said, because you guys been supporting the Bayfield Cast and Blast up there with lots of energy and resource, and we appreciate that. And then you decided that you wanted to do a bear hunt, and so now you've got 3 of those under your belt.
Yes.
Yeah. And Danny, you were in the Army.
I was in the 82nd Airborne from 1978 to 1982.
78 to 82. Geez, I graduated in high school 82, so you got a couple of years on me.
Yeah.
Not too many, but awesome. Well, thank you for your service. And 82nd Airborne, so you fell out of a few planes too, eh?
Yes, I sure did.
Putting your knees in the breeze?
Yeah, never got hurt jumping out.
Oh?
No.
Yeah.
Just a sudden stop.
That's right. It's that landing that gets you. The parachute landing fall, the PLF. Yeah, I used to say, I still do, to this day I talk about, of course, I don't know how many, I think I was on status for, let's just say 12 years or something like that in various units. And I used to talk about it as, beating up trees, falling out of planes, beating up trees, and that kind of, because if you jump out of a plane long enough, you're going to end up in a tree. Or water. Or water. I've done that too, several times. But anyway, well, we appreciate your service. What'd you do in the Army?
I was a wheeled vehicle mechanic.
Okay.
But as you know, when you're in the 82nd, you're cross-trained to do many other things.
Right.
So we were in an air defense artillery unit. So we had at first red-eye missiles, and then we switched over to Stinger missiles, which is a surface-to-air missile.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember the Stingers, yeah.
And we were involved with the Iranian hostage situation. We trained for over a year for that mission, and as you know, it failed. But
Yeah, that was kind of a dark spot in our nation's history there. That I think the only thing that really good came from that is I think that's how SOCOM got born. That was it Eagle Claw? Was it Operation Eagle Claw?
Yes, and that's just 1978 is when Delta started.
Yeah, that's right.
At Fort Bragg in the old stockade.
That's right.
And, you'd see these guys running around full beards and
like
frickin' built to the hilt. And it's like, wow, I'd like to be one of those guys.
Exactly. That's a very interesting time in our nation's history. So let's circle back here to a couple of things. I will talk about you first because I want to get into the mission that you guys do the bear hunt, because I know that you and Nancy and your entire community up there, do a fundraiser every year for us. You guys are doing an incredible job, and not only are you doing fundraising, you're also doing a mission, and that's phenomenal. And I know that a lot of these heroes have touched your life, in some way or another. And before we get through the program, I'm going to ask you to talk about, maybe just recall to mind maybe one or two scenarios that were really impactful. Guys that you met, heroes that you spent some time with. Because you do this long enough, and you're going to run into a couple that just really, matter of fact, even before the program here, you and I were in the bunkhouse chatting, and you mentioned a couple of guys and fellas and things that are going on. So we'll circle back to that, but let's talk about a couple of things. So your professional career now, tell us what you do. Kind of a jack of all trades. When I got out of the military in 1982, interest rates were 20%. Crazy.
There was no work.
Yeah.
And so it was rough. Not able to get work. I started raking people's yards, fixing decks, doing some handiwork, whatever I could do to make a few dollars.
What year is this now? You get 1982. Yeah.
And so then I started doing more carpentry, building decks and whatnot. And I'm a farm boy, so
can fix anything.
You have to.
Right. Up here, same thing.
Yeah.
You think you're going to call a plumber? I mean, I hope you brought your lunch.
Yeah.
So,
started doing small additions and then building smaller houses, which was great money.
Mm-hmm.
Problem with it is by the time winter came around, there wasn't much work,
mm-hmm.
and by the spring I was out of money again.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, well, I'm going to try to get a job. So I started working at the lumberyard and hardware store
mm-hmm.
in Iron River, and pretty much ran the place after a short period of time, and kept on asking them for more money, and they said, yep, they kept on giving it to me to a point and said, if you want any more money, you're going to have to buy the place. So myself and two other guys that worked at both of the lumberyards, one in Poplar and one in Iron River, we bought them, and we ran those businesses for 20 years. And very, very hard work. A lot of long days, hours, sacrifice a lot to provide.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've been out of that business now 15 years. After I retired from that, I went back to building houses again until my injuries I received from hitting the ground
mm-hmm.
caught up to me, and I just wasn't able to do that anymore.
It's hard work.
So fortunate enough that I kind of almost by accident started a storage business, which has been good.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always been one that's wanted to give back to the Mother Nature,
mm-hmm.
planting trees, food plots, doing things for habitat for the fish on the river. And I always thought, honeybees would be really cool.
Yeah. So I got to tell you guys. So when I went to go visit, was it about a year and a half ago I was up there?
It was a year ago Labor Day.
Yeah. Okay. So a year ago Labor Day. Yeah. I came to be part of your fundraiser, and you and Nancy were gracious hosts and had me over, and that's when I learned that you were, how do you even say it, a honeymaker?
A beekeeper.
A beekeeper. Yeah, and so he's got this little enclave, in his house there where there was just tons of honey, and I was like, wow. And he actually, he gave me a jar of honey, which I then took home and proceeded to eat. and I'm like, it's like crack. I'm hooked on it now. And I don't know how many times I've asked you guys to send me another jar of honey, but it's tremendous honey. What's the name of the business?
I just call it Iron River Ranch Honey.
Okay. And so how much honey are you producing a year?
Probably about 60 gallons.
Okay. And then are you retailing it as well?
Yeah, so retail it on Facebook Market Watch, or Marketplace, excuse me.
Yeah.
And then I've got 2 stores that I sell to them wholesale, and they retail it for me.
All right. So how do folks find you? If I know you're probably like, hey, listen, I don't have that much honey, but hey, well, you might have to, after this, you might have to amp up your game a little bit. But how do folks find you?
On
Facebook?
On Facebook, yep.
What's the search they need to put in there? What's the words? Is there Danny
Bourassa.
Okay, Danny Bourassa.
Yeah, and there's 2 of us.
Okay.
So Junior would be the one that's still in the military.
Okay, that's right.
And we've got folks that come to our place. The qualities, healing properties of honey are just unbelievable. I read something about that. Heartburn. It's good for heartburn.
Oh.
Yeah, right. I don't believe it. Well, I had terrible heartburn, and I tried it.
Yeah.
It's like about an hour later, I go, oh, wow.
Oh, really?
It's gone.
It's probably why I don't have heartburn anymore. I eat so much of your honey.
There you go.
Probably 3 more big jars of it. It's actually delicious, and I live in Florida most of the year, but I come up here to several times in Northwoods of Wisconsin to, work the property and serve our heroes on our mission. But down there in Florida, I was telling you that I ran out of your honey, so I bought some local stuff. Because, the local honey is supposed to be good if you have allergies, because
that's
you
correct.
Get,
the pollen.
The pollen,
mm-hmm.
Yeah. So my boys and I are eating a lot of local honey to keep, us build our immune systems from the pollen down there in Florida. And then we mix in your Wisconsin honey. We go through quite a bit. I truth be told, I go through way more honey than they do. I just really like it. But anyway, down there it tastes like molasses. Yours tastes like it's like this sweet, delicious clover. That's what I get out of it when I. And I suppose that changes from year to year depending on what they're eating.
Yeah, clover, alfalfa, and then in the fall the goldenrod.
Yeah.
I actually just brought you some today, so we'll see how you like that. But that probably has a little bit of goldenrod in it.
Okay. It looks a little darker.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's cool. So you really are a jack of all trades, master of none. I refer to that myself that way, often as well. But because I saw some pictures on Facebook of one of the rooms that you built in your home, and I was like admiring the craftsmanship. Because it was really high quality finish work, and
thank you.
I really enjoy and admire people who can do high quality finish work, or even just the rough cut stuff, the framing and whatnot. But I mean, you're a builder, you're in the storage business. You're not, a beekeeper. I mean, you got a lot going on. Former Army guy was a wrench.
Yep.
That's really super cool. A paratrooper, and now you got this mission going. And you guys you're routinely harvesting bear up there. Of course, folks that don't know, the Northwoods of Wisconsin is chock full of bear. Okay, I mean up here there's more bear I think than there should be. That's my opinion.
Yes, I agree.
And so the population's a little out of whack. We had something like 30 different bear on cam. You had the same thing, a couple bait stations and 30 different bear on one bait. That's insane. To me, that's a woods that is out of balance. And you go, well, why is that? Well, part of the reason why is because in Wisconsin, it takes like 8 years. You have to apply every year. Give them money. It's not a lot of money, but $3.50 or whatever it is to get a preference point. And then after 8 years, you have supposedly accumulated enough preference points, but then you got to get drawn to get a tag.
Yes.
And so it's anyway. And then there's a lot of people out there that are getting bear tags, and then they don't use them because they think they're saving a bear's life.
That's true.
Did you know that?
Oh, yes.
That's true. A lot of people do that. So there's a false sense of how many people really want to hunt bear, because there's a lot of people that are buying tags, applying for the preference points, and then getting a tag and not using it. Because they want to say, okay, all right, I'm getting off my soapbox here. But anyway, there's a lot of bear up here. So you guys have been very successful. So have we here at camp. Are you enjoying the experience with the guys in the event?
We really do. Nancy is such a good person and a great host. The boys, when they've been up, they write a little
in the journal.
Yeah, in the journal. Yeah, they kind of log something in there, and I'm kind of upset about it because she gets more press than I do. Oh, Nancy's food was so good, and she took us here, and she did that, and
that doesn't surprise me. Your wife is, she's a spark plug, but she's also a very stable and she's a person, and she like a rock, if you will, but she also has got some pretty impressive leadership skills. Yeah, from what I saw.
Yes, she does.
And the time that I've watched her organize that golfing event that you guys do. And I watched her work the table. I know what she's doing behind the scenes. She's super organized. She's super motivated. And she's got a great head on her shoulders and a great heart. And you start combining all these things, and you end up with a very, successful person who's, quite likable. And I think that describes Nancy pretty good.
Well, she has passion. For our country and this, especially for our soldiers.
Wasn't her daddy like a sergeant major or something like
First sergeant.
First sergeant.
Yeah. So he was in the LRP.
Vietnam era, right?
He was a LRP in Vietnam.
Okay, well, there you go.
And he was led that team.
Yep. For those that don't know, a LRP is a long-range patrol. LRP is what they call LRPs, and these guys would go be inserted, deep behind enemy lines and do reconnaissance and sneaky peek kind of thing. So anyway, her dad was a lifer, so she was born in Germany, and her dad retired from the 82nd Airborne, and he died at 58. So she's got just a huge amount of passion. My father was in the military. I met Nancy while I was in the military. Oh, wow.
Both of our boys were in the military. So Paul, Nancy's dad, was more than just a father-in-law. He was a friend.
Yeah.
So he was in 101st and the 173rd in Vietnam.
Well, that was a tough unit. 173rd took it in the teeth. Those boys saw serious action.
Yeah. And then in the 82nd, and that's where he was a first sergeant in Air Defense Artillery and Headquarters Battery, and I was in Charlie Battery.
Okay.
Didn't know that at the time when my wife picked me up at the bar.
Wow, that her dad was a first sergeant. You had to be careful, man.
Dude, when I went there and I saw his picture on the mantle, I asked her.
Laid an egg.
I said, "Who is that?" She goes, "That's my dad." I go, "Oh, don't tell him I was here."
Oh, man.
And so he found out who I was, and he did some checking on me, made sure I wasn't a crappy soldier, and I was wild, but I was a very good soldier.
I bet you were.
And so DJ, our oldest one, Danny Jr., he went in the 82nd in Air Defense Artillery. He was in the same unit that I was in and his grandfather was in.
Wow.
Then he got transferred to, he did one tour in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And then he went to Germany and went into the 173rd. And so he did 2 rotations with the 173rd. In his last deployment, he got type 1 diabetes at 26 years old and just about killed him. And so the military wanted to get rid of him because he's non-deployable.
Yeah.
He fought it, and he stayed in. So he'll be retiring in 2023.
Wow. Well, you got a great service record there in your family.
Yeah, and then Wolf, the baby.
Yeah.
He wanted to go into the 101st Airborne. Why he wanted to do that, I have no idea, but I think it had something to do with the Band of Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
And he got down to the MEP station, said, "I'm not going unless you can give me this." I said, "Well, we can't give it to you." He says, "Well, take me home." "Well, wait a minute. We can get you, but you're going to have to wait about another month to get in." He goes, "That's fine."
So, wow. So he drew the line?
Yep.
And then he got it.
Yeah.
Good for him.
They took it.
Good for him.
They took it hard in Afghanistan. They were almost combat ineffective.
Yeah.
Lost a lot of his brothers there.
Well, we've got with us tonight, you'll meet him when we finish the show here, but Kandarians here, and he commanded the 101st, both at the battalion and the brigade levels.
Okay.
And I haven't done a podcast with him yet, but he and I have chatted about doing it. I probably will while I'm up here, but I don't think I'll bring this up while we're chatting, but I will say it because it's on my mind. I was actually on an event hunting turkey in Kentucky when his brigade came back from a year-long deployment. And one of the guys on the mission, one of the wounded veterans on the mission, his name was Brad. I told the guys, I said, listen, hey, one of my buddies is coming home, and I'm going to surprise him. He doesn't know I'm even here, but I'm going to go to Fort Campbell, and I'm going to surprise him when they get off the plane, then when they're received. And he goes, who's your buddy? And I said, Art Kandarian. His head snaps around. And he goes, he was my battalion commander. I said, no kidding. He goes, he was my battalion commander when I got hurt. He goes, can I go with you? I go, absolutely, you can come with me. So we pile in my truck and we go to Campbell, right? And then we're there. They put us in a hangar. All the families are there. The plane pulls up, right? And off the plane, here's Arthur, brigade commander, leading the troops off the plane into the hangar, salute. The music plays. The division commander says a word. Art gets up, says a few words. And then in, fine Kandarian style, terminates and sends the guys to their families, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, that's what you want to do.
Yep.
And so I watched Brad go over there, and Art still doesn't know I'm there. He doesn't know Brad's there. And, can you imagine coming home after a year? We've all done that. Like, everything has changed. And so I'm watching from afar, and Art turns around, and there's Brad, who's an amputee below the knee. And they have this embrace, because Brad tells me, he's like, listen, I wasn't there when we came home. I was in the hospital. I was stateside when my unit came home. So I never really got to see him come home. So this is important to me. So he shows up. There's a big embrace between Brad and Art. And so he hadn't seen him since.
But they knew the familiarity was that.
Oh, yeah. Arthur knows all his men.
Okay.
Yeah, he's one of those guys.
Okay.
For sure.
And what was he, a full bird or?
He was a commanding a brigade.
Okay.
In the 101st, yeah, full bird colonel.
Okay.
And I think Brad Alexander was an E6, I think.
Okay.
A scout, a 19 Delta guy. Anyway, so there's this embrace, right? And Art's looking over his shoulder, and I'm standing right there, like about 10 feet away. And he looks at me like he's, what are you, Ranger? What are you doing here? So, there's this big hug and all this, and then I just was going to leave because we had a mission going on, right? And I said, well, buddy, welcome home. We shared some words. And then, and he goes, where are you going? I go, hey, we got a mission. I see, we're hunting turkeys. And he's like, no, you're coming home with me. And I go, Art,
I can't.
I go, I can't. I mean, not only that,
I got these heroes.
I got these heroes here. One, and two, you ain't seen your wife in a year. I'm not coming home with you tonight. And he goes, oh yeah, you are. Just like that. And he wouldn't take no for an answer. So I turned to Brad and I go, listen, take care of tonight, okay? You're an E6 scout, make it happen. I'll see you in the morning. So I go home with Art. And I can't believe I'm doing this, but he's my old Ranger buddy. I know him for 30 years. So I go home with Art, and this is the part that'll get you. And I don't know, what the number was, but I want to say it was like 60 plus. He pulls out of his breast pocket of his BDUs 60. I think it was like 64 dog tags of guys he lost when he was over there. And he puts it on the table, and then out of the other breast pocket he pulls out a stack of 3x5 cards. It has every single one of those guys' picture, their name, where they come from and a little bit about them.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was just like,
that's impressive for a commander.
Yeah. Well, that's who this guy is. Okay. I mean, I didn't want to, we were talking 101st. I didn't want to spend a lot of time talking about art, but yeah, I mean, art is a national treasure. But what a great American, and 101st guy. And
is he retired now?
Yeah, he's retired now. He retired about 7-8 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. But, Great American, but yeah. So we'll chat with Art later. So let's transition here real quick, Danny, and I'd like you to tell me. And for those of you that are just tuning in and haven't heard the Honor Connect Heal bit, I mean the Wounded Warriors in Action Foundation serves our nation's combat wounded Purple Heart recipients by providing world-class outdoor sporting activities that are aimed at helping heal, essentially the invisible wounds of war. And our one of our taglines is, honor, connect, and heal. Honor what they did, connect them with each other and surround them with, great communities and people who care. And in that process, there's healing, And so that's what we do. And this is our 17th year of doing it. Ground zero is here at Camp Hackett, and 17 years later, there's 50 missions across the country, and there's a lot going on in this space, and a lot of goodness happening in this space, and you're a big part of that, Danny, and I just wanted to ask you, because I could talk for days about, because I still do the mission, I'm still getting my, that's what I do here when I'm up here, is, I'm serving these guys, but you've probably had a couple of guys, I want to ask you, I'm not asking you their last names or anything, but or even their first names, but maybe you could just share with our audience, an experience that you had a field serving these heroes that it doesn't even have to be in the field. I mean, you spend a lot of time, just sitting around the fireside too, chatting. But share with us, if you will, an experience that was impactful for you, meaningful.
I guess one is he's now a command sergeant major, and he was in an MP unit, and they took it pretty hard. Just seeing the relief on their face and the relaxation of being able to, and he's still in.
Yeah.
So we've got an active sergeant major that's has the opportunity to come up and do some bow hunting and fishing with Bayfield County Cast and Blast.
Yeah.
Made a great connection with him, and Nancy said, "Hey, when you're done at your duty station, you're heading to your next duty station. If you guys want, stop by. You already have your license."
Right.
So him and his wife and his two young girls spent a week at our house, and he was able to harvest a nice 8-point buck. Awesome. And built a friendship there, a bond. They seem to want to open up to some individuals.
Yeah.
I don't really pry into their background or their history, but I just tell them, hey, this is what Nancy and I are about. This is why we love, doing what we do.
Yeah.
And
why is that? Why do you love what you? What about this is what about this is attractive to you? This space,
making a difference.
Yeah.
Making a difference.
Touching a life.
Yeah. If we can save one life,
yeah,
you can't put a dollar figure on that.
No.
And I know that we have saved one life.
For sure.
We had an individual, the same individual I'm talking about, at the same time. I guided him, and there was other guides that guided some other folks. And we had a guy that was ready to commit suicide. The day he was going to ask this girl to marry him, she broke it off with him, and he took it really hard. And this was, quite a few years back. Nancy saw it on Facebook, and he was reaching out.
Mm-hmm.
And so she started the chain and called. One of them was Sergeant Major, that was still in, and still is. And she got a hold of me, and we reached out to him and talked him off the wall. And
wow.
He's now happily married and a couple kids with another lady.
Excellent.
So I don't really sugarcoat things. I just kind of tell it the way it is. Think about what you're going to do. Yeah. And who you're going to impact.
It's the most selfish thing in the world, right? I mean, taking your own life. People don't. I often wonder if they actually, those that commit that horrible act, think about that. Like
I don't think they do, or they wouldn't do it.
They wouldn't do it, right? I mean, okay, so your life is miserable. We get it. Okay, there's a lot going on. We understand that, but we're here, number one, to help you. You got a lot of help. There's a ton of help. Okay, for anybody who's even considering that, okay? There is, especially veterans, and we're losing like 22 a day to suicide.
Unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. Yeah. You know what the average age is, too?
No.
It's like over 50.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You know what concerns me the most? It's like our average age is like 38, which means that bell-shaped curve, the peak of that.
We haven't even got there.
We're not even there yet. That's what scares the shit out of me. Anyway, but it's a selfish act. Think about how many lives that impacts, and I mean, I don't even want to get into it because it's just something that I've always struggled with that. I mean, to imagine what the impact it would have to your family, any kids you have, your brother, your sister, your mom. I mean, your friends network. I mean, it's just. So if you're out there listening, I was asked not long ago on another venue, hey, the host said, hey, what advice do you have, John, for anybody who's out there thinking about taking their own lives? I said, without even hesitation, I said, get on a team. Find a team and get on it.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Get on a team. I don't even care what it is, but dedicate yourself to something and reach out. Life starts getting better when you surround yourself with like-minded folks who genuinely care about you.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And so if you're out there thinking about that, then, get a hold of us, okay? We can point you in the right direction. We can help get you on a team. I promise you, okay? It's not that bad. Anyway, I digress, but yeah. So, if you can just do that one time, just save one life, impact one life, save one life. I mean, you've done something amazing.
Yeah, how can you put a dollar figure on that?
You can't.
So when we go around and we ask people for some help,
right.
donations, or for these different fundraisers, because it takes money, and the greatest thing about Wounded Warriors and Action Foundation is the percentage of money that is raised that goes directly to help them.
It's over 90%.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. I don't know of any organization that has got that kind of a record. So it's easy for us when you say it. We get such great support out of Iron River, Ashland, Superior areas. Just state the facts.
Yeah.
And
what's the work too, right? I mean, how do you measure the goodness of anything, the value of an organization? I mean, you say, okay, if it's business, there's equations that they do to value your business, right? And in the nonprofit sector, how do you put a valuation on the work that a charity is doing? Now, so, I mean, I haven't given this a whole lot of thought, but what I would say if somebody asked me that, I would say, well, first thing is, it's not what I have to say. Okay, certain statistics are facts, like what's your overhead percentage,
Yeah, those.
I know what those things, we can figure that out. That's an equation that's provided to us by the government that we use. It's calculus. Look at your 990, line this, line that, subtract this, add that, divide by that, boom, there's your number. Okay, got it. That's one thing. That's a metric, okay? But that metric is just financials, all right? Because what really matters is the impact, right? That's what matters, is the impact. And the impact that an organization is having can only, in my opinion, be measured by those who are receiving the service, right? It makes sense.
Absolutely.
So we have over, I think the number is over 1,000. I think it is now, 1,000 different first-person testimonials that are on our website. I started 17 years ago when I was hauling that behemoth fifth wheel up here. There's a fifth wheel. 40-foot Cyclone trailer with a fifth wheel. It's outside now. We're in this beautiful Airstream now. At least I am, because I travel the country, around and do my thing in this great studio that doubles as a mobile headquarters. But that 40-foot fifth wheel is still sitting out there. That's how the whole thing started, and here we are today. We've moved the football quite a bit, but I actually had no idea that there would be more than one person out there that would look at this thing and say, hey, I want to help you. I see what you're doing and I want to help you. So I bought this journal on the way up here. I stopped at an RV park, and how they have those little, headquarters camp. You got to register. You got to register your RV, for the night, pay your fee, whatever. And so I'd never RV'd before, but so I pull into this place, and it was called the Eagle's Nest, if my memory serves me correct. And they had tchotchkes, and you buy this, buy that, and then they had these leather bound. I call them journals, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy one of those. And I bought one, and I started journaling my experience. Like, what am I doing? I'm, going up to Camp Hackett. There was nothing here but woods.
Okay.
There's trails back there now. We'll go back, and I'll show you the property in a minute. But, there's nothing out there. And besides, hinterland. And so I started journaling. And then when I started serving heroes that same year, when they coming up here, I was like, why don't I just have them write? I said, listen, guys, I'm going to leave you my journal, okay? I'm not going to ask you to do anything this weekend at all besides enjoy yourself, have a good time, and before you leave, just scribble something in this book about your experience. That's all I want you to do. And I'll be darned, man, they did it. And next thing you know, that was full. I got another one that was full, and then we started putting these guides on. And these missions started expanding, and so we started buying journals for all the guides, and the host wanted them. So now there's all these journals out there, with first-person testimonials. And you go, that's the patient. You want to know how they're doing? You want to know what the organization's doing? Go on the website, because we digitized every single one of those.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and they're there. I'm sure we didn't get 100% of them, but there's 1,000 or so of them on the website. And so that's what matters. How do you measure an organization, a philanthropic organization, a charity? I think the answer is you go to whoever they're serving and you ask them, where you get their opinions, because that's the one receiving the service or the product or whatever it is, right? I mean, the customer. The customer's that as a businessman, it's the customer's opinion that matters. So anyway, I digress. But yeah, that's a really great story. So is there anybody you want to thank in your great community?
Oh my goodness.
I know, because as soon as you mention one, then you're going to leave somebody out and get somebody upset. But I just want to give you a chance to hear, because when we get this thing all wrapped up and it's launched, we're launching at Christmas time. Okay, so I can't tell you when this episode's going to air, but
sure.
It'll be sometime in the future. Part of a Northwoods series, I think. Okay. So, but anyway, I mean, this is your opportunity to thank folks or call folks out that have, really, helped. I'll say, I was super impressed when I was up there and met everybody that was, pouring out to support your event and to participate in the golfing event. It's a great community up there.
Yeah. Last year, I don't know the exact numbers, but I believe Nancy said in 2022, we raised about $22,000.
It's crazy.
Between the golf outing, we had a local bar in Iron River do a poker run, motorcycle poker run, and they are really excited for the upcoming year, and they're actually going to make it quite large. And so those monies that they raised, and they'd sell 50/50s and whatnot, but those monies will be a lot more next year.
Wow.
And that's just a little biker bar in town, side street saloon.
Yeah.
And there's another bar in town that...
I know the name. Maybe it's not a bar. There's a liquor store up there, too.
Well...
I wouldn't say it.
Okay, so I'm not going to either.
And everybody said that's good. They got a name. I got to tell you, they got a name. And so, it's hilarious, but I'm not saying it.
Danny's dad was a Vietnam vet. And he had a rough go of it. And actually, they got in a car accident the night of his wedding, his dad's wedding. And he lost his wife. And that was just, he came home on leave to marry her and then went back to Vietnam. He got pretty busted up and, shot up and whatnot. So Danny, his son, he's a few years younger than I am, and he runs the bar. And so he always comes up with some little gadget.
Is that the name of it?
It's called Liquor in the Woods.
That's what I thought that was a liquor store.
No. So
well, you did say it.
Yeah.
It's a bar.
I did. You brought it out of me.
God bless him. Well, thank you.
So and I brought the heroes there. We don't make a habit of bringing them to these places.
There's a sporting goods store right across the street from there.
No.
Well, yeah. I remember I pulled when I drove in. Well, maybe it's not right across the street, but there's a pretty cool little sporting goods store. But then there's a gas station there. I remember I went in there and bought a rain jacket. Maybe it's an outdoor apparel store.
Okay.
They sell shoes and stuff like that. No,
it's
not right up there.
John, I think you got the wrong address.
I don't know about that.
But the Bottons family, that's who we have the golf outing at. They've been just spectacular. Of course, we got Gump, and Gump actually, Jimmy Klobuchar, he works with Cast and Blast. Matter of fact, they just got done with their hunt, and he's always very helpful to the cause. And all the proceeds last year for the Whitetails Unlimited banquet, we donated to Wounded Warriors in Action.
Yeah. We're a lifetime member. They just sent us a plaque. We really like that organization. It's great people in there. Whitetails Unlimited.
So I could be here for days listing off people that are instrumental. But Nancy's the one that heads all that up, and it takes a lot of her time.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many years moving forward that she'll be able to do it. And what she really would like is a couple of people, maybe 3 or 4, and form a little committee. And you go take this area, you take this area, you take this area, you take this area. And, of course, our family will be there the day of the event to set things up and run it. And,
so it's a call for volunteers. How do they get a hold of you?
I would just say probably the easiest way is to give me a call. My number is 218-391-8858. And you can call me anytime. That's a cell number, so if you prefer to text, that would be fine too. Or contact Wounded Warriors in Action Foundation and the staff there. Nancy and I are associates with the association, so
you could send us a note at info at WWIAF.org, and we'll make sure that the Bourassas get it. So there's a call to action for your community to get a little more involved. Maybe somebody looking for a leadership position to help you and Nancy in the moving forward in the future. So that's great.
Yeah, very important.
Well, Danny, is there anything that we haven't talked about that you'd like to mention?
Just one item. We really appreciate in the state of Wisconsin all of you people that are applying for bear preference points and donating them, transferring them or allowing us to transfer them to a hero.
That's right.
Because without those folks...
It doesn't happen.
No.
Yep, you're right.
And last year we got... How many tags did you have?
We had 2.
Yeah, and we had 3.
Yeah.
So...
it's wonderful.
It's great.
Yes, thank you, everybody. God bless you for doing that. Yeah, I mean, I just can't imagine. It just warms my heart to, you're out there applying and paying money for a bear tag, and then 8 years down the road you get one, and then you donate it to the foundation. And we had the legislation changed a few years ago that allow us to, people that have a bear tag, to transfer it to a Purple Heart recipient. And so if you've got one and you can't use it, or would rather see a combat wounded Purple Heart recipient use it, get a hold of us at the Wounded Warriors in Action Foundation, and we'll make sure that we serve your intent.
One more thing that we're working on right now is, and we've jumped through about 4 or 5 hurdles right now. I'm working with the Wisconsin Conservation Congress to get it so that our Purple Heart veterans can hunt first week for bear hunting. And if some of you folks don't realize that we trade off, the dog hunters go first one year, the bait sitters go first the next year. We're trying to get it, and we're doing very well. We're getting really close to the finish line, to be able to have our Purple Heart veterans hunt the first week every year.
Oh, wow.
On private land only.
Yeah.
And it's been very, very well received. We've talked to some government officials as far as sponsoring a bill once it gets to that point. Yeah. So we're getting real close.
Well, if you need, like I said, I've got a good friend who's a Purple Heart recipient who's lobbyist.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's right there in Madison. And so.
I'll let you know once we get that far, which we will. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a quitter.
Right. No,
and the mission is important. Yeah. And it's not so much logistics. It works out nice. We know that for Karina, she knows that the first week, the first Wednesday after Labor Day, the bear hunt's going to happen at Camp Hackett and at an Iron River area.
Yeah.
And the odds of them bagging a nice bear are so much better, and the weather's better.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that go into what we're trying to do.
Yep.
So it's very much appreciated, everybody who's voted for it in favor of it.
Well, here's by way of contrast, to put a finer edge on that. Here at Camp Hackett, and this is in the Northwoods. The foundation owns 410 acres up here in the Northwoods of Wisconsin, and we've been hunting for 17 years, and not one person, not one hero in 17 years has ever killed a whitetail buck. Not one.
Really?
Yeah, not one. And you go, well, why is that? Well, the answer is because the predations. First off, it's bow hunting, so it's pretty challenging, to begin with, right? But you would think in 17 years somebody would have killed a buck.
But think about what you've done out here since. I mean, now you've got your food plots established.
Oh yeah. So. Well, the property has never been in better condition. Mm-hmm. Okay, but there's a predation issue. A huge predation issue.
Geez, I wonder what that would be.
Well, yeah, it's the bear, that eat a lot of fawn.
They sure do.
And it's the wolves that I mean, I just showed you a picture we had on cam of a whole pack of 7 wolves in one cam shot. 7 wolves.
That's just what you saw on the camera. That's what you don't really know what's out there.
Well, that's right.
It could be a lot more.
The sign is everywhere, and so, but I mean, it's just, okay, and by contrast, okay, I'm not getting on a soapbox, I'm just saying, by contrast, in 17 years, one of the primary species that we go after up here in the Northwoods is the white-tailed deer.
Yes. And
nobody's ever shot a buck in 17 years. Yet, as soon as we started bear hunting up here, people started donating tags. We have a 100% success ratio. 100%.
On bears.
Yeah. Every year, every guy, 2 or 3 guys, how many ever tags we get, kills a bear.
Yeah, we filled out the last 2 years.
What does that tell you?
It tells
what does that tell you?
We saved a lot of fawns.
That's right. But it also tells you that the woods is out of balance.
Oh, big time.
It's just way out of balance.
Yeah.
You can't kill a white-tailed deer because there are hardly any up here. The reason there's hardly any up here is because the bears are eating fawns and the wolves are eating deer.
Yes.
And that's just the way it is. It's unfortunate. So
can you imagine how many, a pack of, what are we thinking? we know for sure a minimum of 7, maybe a dozen in that pack. How many deer they have to kill just to survive?
It's probably like 40 a year.
So, and
I mean, think about that, right?
It takes me a long time. I passed on a lot of bucks to be able to shoot one quality buck. It might take me a dozen years.
I've never killed one up here.
So
I've passed a lot of bucks that don't meet a 120 inch standard for me in terms of the rack size. But anyway. So we got lots of work to do.
We sure do.
But anyway, well, thank you for being on the program, Danny.
Well, thanks for having me, John. It's John has got such a great story of how he started the organization. I'm sure you've heard of it. Any questions that anybody has, just go on the website, and if you're a Purple Heart recipient and you haven't signed up yet, please do. I get those calls quite often. I know so-and-so that's a Purple Heart. He would love to come up and bear hunt. The first step is you have to reach out. So be proactive and make sure that you get signed up for Wounded Warriors in Action, and then we'll do our darndest as a team to make you happy and be part of something that's just really, really great. And I thank you so much, John.
Well, it's our pleasure, Danny, and thank you and your wonderful wife, Nancy, and that great community up there for doing all that you do. It's quite incredible. Many hands make light work, and we certainly couldn't do this without your support and your community support. So we thank you, and a big salute to you, and appreciate your service and your family service and the work that you continue to do. So let's go out and hit the property.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right. Bye, folks.
To learn more about the mission of the Wounded Warriors in Action Foundation and how you can get involved, please visit our website at WWIAF.org or follow our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Thank you for listening to the WWIA podcast and for helping us honor, connect, and heal our combat wounded Purple Heart heroes through the power of the great outdoors.
If you like what you're listening to here and would like to join our team in our mission to bring healing power and recovery to America's Purple Heart heroes, please become part of our Sponsor a Hero team by clicking on the link in the podcast notes or by going to WWIAF.org/sponsor. That's WWIAF.org/sponsor. Our heroes need you now more than ever. Thank you.